Sometimes, in Kensal Rise, I hear a church bell chime the hour. When the night buses have skittered up to Oxford Street or trundled down to Notting Hill, the sloppy city and I lie blanketed by starch white stars and listen. It inhales the early morning miracle of urban lavender and exhales maybe just a hint of last night's whiskey and fried chicken on its breath. Beneath us both and under stone, the black earth turns and dreams 1,000 years of forest green jacket on its back. A megalosaurus 40 foot long waddling up Holborn Hill. Ice-born drumlins lope across the land and a shaggy figure in furry skin steps barefoot to the riverbank. Surveys the sparkling Thames for fish. Turns face up to the green horizon and the gradual growing dawn. Grasps a silent spear and strikes. The city retches with the memory of last night's drinking songs. Hacks and clears its lungs in the yellowing parks and gardens. Empties bowels in the oozing estuary. Wipes and scratches at its dog-walked head on Hampstead Heath and blearily recalls the thousand unremembered mornings, thick set with singing birds that rang from Richmond to the sea. The young boy paused beside the milestone. London. The name awakened a new train of ideas in his mind. London? That great large place? No one could ever find him there. No lad of spirit need want in London, and there were ways of living in that fine city which those bred in the country parts had no idea of. So he jumped up on his feet and walked. An hour passes over us, city and I. Sunlight clearing out the cracks and crevices as unthanked as the early morning sweepers, every now and then a fag break and an upturned face. The spires of the churches are tinged with light. The streets, by imperceptible degrees, resume their animation. And buried beside their interred congregations, the bells ring from the patchworked parishes, now neatly zoned from 1 to 6. Yeah. Well, anything's possible in London. Aspiring city wipes its blemishes beneath bridges and under doorways. Black earth buttons up in steel and glass, coats itself in coloured silks that run and cross-stitch underground. The boy paused. Another tedious beginning of another day of label, stick and tie and stamp. Last house in Hungerford at the blacking factory. A first-floor view of rats and riverboats and people who seemed to have great purpose in a city of great purpose, but they moved fast out of sight before he could discover what it was. He looked down at the labels. Lick, stick, stamp, tie, here is the fine craftsmanship of London, which artisans around the world are open-mouthed in wonder at. How despite the noses pushed in armpits, the battered boots beside the Nike ticks, the countless contacts down the phone and wire, the swirl concerto of dubstep beat by stirring strings, despite the spine stacked up by tube and bus, dogged romances and pristine mysteries, the million stories packed and sitting side by side, despite the step together, stop together, queue up in the shop together, wait together, go together, navigate, crowd, flow together, fit together, start together, beat by beat by beat by beat by beat by hoping hard together, sweat and sigh and climb and crush and cross the rushing Thames. How these delicate tales can lace so intricately together and never touch. The man paused, scraped under the cravat at his neck, looked up from his interminable court reports and down to Gray's Inn Road, which it seemed to him had planned to run full pelt into the valley and up again into Pentonville, but had run clear out of breath in 20 yards and stood beneath the window looking up at him. "What are you looking at?" it said. "Don't just stand there." He looked back at his fellow clerks, heads down and hard at work to some great purpose. At St. Paul's, parish of all parishes, upturned faces stop like flotsam in the surging swarm. Behold the grand hands reaching round towards the hour. Up to the gold cross on the summit, crowning confusion of this great confused city. So golden, so high up, still so far out of reach. Patch of green and park bench are briefly pressed with chilly sunseekers, planting feet in ancient winter mud and looking up at mackerel skies, sinking red and over right back into the blackened earth. Sometimes, around this time in Kensal Rise, I hear a bell ring on the number 52. And I look up into someone's face and they look back at me and we've come from everywhere to this sloppy city, journeying by land and sea to meet and act and react on each other. Restless travellers from seething tropics, frozen tundra, or descended straight down from that early shaggy settler, and we get off at the same stop and we walk our separate stories home. The man paused. The clock struck 12. Lying in his bed, he couldn't sleep. He got up again and ran a finger down the clammy window pane. A carriage clopped and splattered down the street. There were only faint traces left of the unremembered years. No unfamiliar animals, no rare plants or flowers, no natural wonders of the ancient world, nothing to see or breathe but streets. He inhaled the midnight miracle of starch white stars. How each one shines with an untouchable intensity. How only clustered in confusion can they make the cosmos breathless. He exhaled, and as he did, he thought the earth beneath him stirred. So he stepped out on those streets and walked.